So
You're welcome.
now we're going to turn to some other amazing leaders in the team, and that's the wonderful team of Jeanette and Jenn and Jeanette. And these ladies have been racing through the ranks of late, and they've got a huge wealth of information to share. They've been doing it in their own way. So welcome, ladies. Great to have you on the call. Can you hear us okay?
Yeah, we
Sure
can. Loud and clear. Thank you.
Fantastic. You may have seen them doing some of the trainings and the presentations. They're really putting themselves out there. They're doing awesome things. So thank you very much for everything you ladies do. And thanks for sharing your wisdom today. So want to ask you, so how was ASEA initially shared with you, and what was it that interested you enough to get involved, and how long did it take for you to get in action sharing that with people?
Sure. I'll start. I'm Jen, and so it was introduced to me. I actually heard from two people within a really short period of time. So it was back in March 2016, beginning of March, and I heard from someone in the medical field who told me, but didn't really tell me where to get it from. So I had to go and do my own research on that. Which was great, because I got on and started to have a look at everything. And then a good friend of mine, Sonia, who's on the call, also told me about. She's another reflexologist like me, so she told me about it, and she knew that I had a couple of health challenges and suggested that I got going at using the Renew 28 gel, which I did. So I had a health reason to actually have a look at the product. And then I started to get some really great benefits with a hip issue that I've had for about 7 years. I'd had some pretty severe discomfort with it, and it was really stopping me from doing some daily tasks and stopping me certainly from doing physical activity. So I started using the Renew 28, and I just had a really, really big, it just made a big difference to me. And it took probably about 5 weeks of using it, and the hip issue that I had just resolved itself. But in that 5 years, I didn't sort of sit idle on it. I really, within the first week of getting some changes with that, I started to think, I've got people around me, I've got clients that I was seeing that I thought could really benefit from hearing about it. I did my own research. I got on the net. I asked a lot of people. I got introduced to Justin and Nicole fairly quickly, and just started to think, how could this help other people, and in what ways could it help other people? So that's really the introduction to using the product Renew 28. And then not long after we had it in the house and I'd done my first order, we had a first aid emergency. And some people would have seen the photographs of Jeanette's burns. She tipped a pot of boiling, a pot of boiling water that had pasta in it, all over the kitchen floor and pretty much all over herself and her feet and so on. So at the time we'd only had Renew here a couple of weeks, and we just thought, okay, we'll just start using it. Everything that people told us about the product, we thought, it's 100%, it's native to the body, it doesn't do any harm, it's safe, it's not going to sting, you can put it on the skin directly. And we thought, okay, let's do it. And that for us, we just saw a real miracle happen with that in a really short period of time. And so from my experience to a first aid experience, we thought, you can't keep this a secret. You have to tell people about it. And we didn't actively go out thinking we're going to have a big business with this year. We've always had the mindset that if we find out something great, we want to share it with people we love. And that's really where we were coming from in the beginning. And it wouldn't matter whether there was a business opportunity or not with this. We would still want to tell our friends and our family and people we come in contact with about this, because it is such a huge breakthrough. And that's where we were coming from in the beginning. So
yeah.
By middle of April, end of April, we were starting to do presentations. We had Nicole in to do a presentation at our house, and
then we straight after Nicole was here, we decided we'd take off and do our own presentations, and that's really what we've been doing ever since, our own presentations. And then we decided to launch the coffee meetings, and that was our next thing. And then of course we made sure we were at everything that was on offer.
Yeah, so we made sure we were at all the events. We went to the events early, tried to get people along, get people on the product call. Really, the Renew Facebook group has been fantastic, getting people into that and getting them to actually see what other people are using the product for. So that, for us, that has been a great thing. We both come from an education background initially before we've been involved in doing other things. So, the presentations and the training side of it really interests us in being able to educate people correctly on how to use the product and get the best use of the product and how they can get their results for themselves.
Yeah, that's awesome, ladies. You say a few really interesting things there, particularly that last point about it's mainly about training and education, right? It's not about sales. It's about presenting the information and helping people make an informed decision about their health and well-being and how this technology could potentially help them. And the other thing that you said there, like you saw your own experiences, which were nothing short of miraculous in healing, but also you kept it really simple. There are a few key points: safe, simple to use, affordable, powerful, and that was the message that you were talking to people about. And then you really encourage people to come along to events. So that was my second question, is about what were those daily business building activities, such as inviting people to events, that sort of thing, that you mainly focused on, and how did you organize yourself to do those daily activities?
Well, I think both of us have other work commitments. So we're not in a situation where we're just here and we can dream up ways of inviting people all day. We're working our other businesses in amongst this. But one of the really key things early on is we cottoned on to the idea of A-Lift. And once we cottoned on to A-Lift, we made sure that those 5 things happened daily for both of us. So, the first one was really about our attitude, making sure that we approach things with the positive, upbeat attitude. And even if we got some setbacks, we'd go, okay, well, we'll just let that person go and we'll just keep moving on, because it was more about our vision and our commitment to the vision of helping other people than letting one person's negativity get in the way. And then we got on to the next part, of course, which was the list. So we have this living list, which is a bit fluid. Sometimes we take people off it who have told us they're not interested, and we add people onto it, whoever we think of. Like even while we're sitting here with this call, we've just added about 3 or 4 people on there just then that we hadn't really thought about before. And then the invite part, the I for invite, Jenny's really good at that. I mean, we both put out the invitations, but she's probably the one who gets on and does more of the actual inviting people to come and do this or to do that, or invite them to have a look at the product. And then the next part, the follow-up, and that's probably the part where I do a little bit more of. I do more follow-up with people and helping them by doing the cellular health consults with them so that we can actually start tracking them and get results. So I'm, between us, with Jen doing the invite and me doing the follow-up, that part seems to work well. And then, of course, the last thing is the teach part of A-Lift. And we've both come from a teaching background, so teaching people so that it's duplicatable is really good. And we've even thrown ourselves into daily following, mentors, teachers, watching a video or a clip or a blog, but we do a lot of watching clips. As soon as we see a new clip, onto it.
Yeah. See, that's great. That's amazing. Thanks. That's awesome information there, Janet, because you talk about, you found a system, you found the A-Lift system, and you did it daily, and that was a discipline. And then you also discovered the strengths that you both have. So, we're all different, right? And so you sort of organized yourselves around that. So that's amazing.
Yeah, and the other thing is really because you're I suppose you throw the net out and you start to collect more and more things around you. And one of the things now for us is, because we've seen more people getting results, you build up these wonderful stories that you can, if someone asks you a question about something, you can say, look, I do know somebody, or I know somebody who knows somebody who's had a result like that, and that may help you. So you start to collect stories in amongst that too.
And one of the things is we say to people, if you've got a new story, let us know. And then, of course, that builds excitement. Someone will phone and say, hey, this is what's happened to one of my clients, or one of the people I introduced to see you to, and blah, blah, blah. And then the next thing we say, have you got the photos of that? And then we can get the photos up. So we're just trying to stay in action a fair bit of the time. I mean, sometimes it's hard when you've got other things going on, but staying in action is a really important thing. And aligning yourself with team members who really want to come on this journey with you. that's been so important. Some people have dropped off who don't want to put in the energy, and that's okay. That's their journey. But the people who want to put in the energy and effort and want to come along the journey, well, we're happy to be their cheerleaders.
Yeah, that's amazing. Thanks, Jeanette. And particularly saying how you connected with the people that are aligned to you, and you hear those stories, right? You hear those success stories both from product and from the business part of it, and that re-inspires you all the time. So it's kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy, a self-fulfilling inspiration. So that's wonderful. So how did you ladies connect your vision, or the vision you had with ASEA, and how that could help you with your own personal why for being in business and fulfilling your life mission, your purpose? Did you want to talk a bit about that?
Well, just one word first. We realise after doing a fair bit of personal growth work, and we've done, the share guides and the launch and build your business, and we've both been involved in a lot of personal development over many years. One of the things that we realise is that we're early adopters. So we'll often get, if we hear about something and we recognise we have a gut instinct around it, or we have a feeling about it, or we feel like, okay, that really has integrity, we will adopt it and we'll go forward with it. So being early adopters sometimes means you're out ahead of the field a little bit, and there's a little bit of lag time for people to catch up with you. But it's okay. We don't mind being we don't mind being out in front with this, because we just believe in it so much. And probably before Jen speaks, probably the key thing for me is seeing the ASEA Genesis video and recognising that Vertus Norton is just such a beautiful man, and he wants this product to get out. And then listening to Tyler speak so many times and how genuine he is. Well, we just want to get on that train, like the carriage is leaving the station. We want to be on that train, and we want to be messengers of this miracle, amazing molecules.
And we both, early on for me, even as a child, I had a pretty strong thread of, wanting to find solutions and wanting to help and wanting to support people. So it doesn't, I suppose, surprised me that this has come. And I think we have probably always been in a way either looking for something or hoping that something would come that would make such a big difference in the world. And we've always been about helping people to transform their lives. So this for us feels like it's bigger than all of us. It's certainly bigger than us. It's bigger than everyone here on the call. Like it's just such an amazing thing to be part of. And so that's our why. Like, we want to be part of something like this that can make such a big difference to people's lives.
And Jen was doing that in her practice with reflexology. And I'm a coach. So I've been doing that one-on-one with people for a long time, but now we don't have to just think about doing that one-on-one. We can work together as a team, and we've got a big team of people around us, including a fantastic upline. So that's just been so much support. And, I had a very big reason to get involved with this. Jen told the story of pain and discomfort and the burn story with first aid, but I had rogue cells in 2015 and had major surgery, and I certainly don't want rogue cells again. So this is the way that I'm moving forward. If I keep working with the ASEA, not only my belief in it, but the results I've already seen with my blood work, I just feel like I can only go from strength to strength. So, that's my personal mission, to get better. I've got a second chance. I want to help a lot of people, and we just want to go places with this, and really move other people to places they've never been before. So it's about us being the best version of ourselves. That's the true story.
Beautiful. Thank you very much for expressing that. I love that, and totally resonates with me. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about next, actually, is about the future. So you started to talk about that. How do you see your future now that you've been involved with ASEA, coming up on 12 months? You've achieved some great things. You're into the executive ranks at Bronze and doing great with the executive momentum pool, which is awesome. So how do you feel about your future?
Well, I think the future, we hit Bronze in November. and then you bounce around a little bit with that for a while, and then it was just before Christmas we hit in the EMP, and for us it was like, oh my goodness, that's probably not a great time of year, when people are going on holidays and doing all of those things. But probably unlike Sally, we sort of had to keep really focusing on ASEA the last couple of weeks over the time, and we've kept on track with with what we've been doing, and we've had to, because we wanted to be able to stay obviously stay in that pool so that we could earn some money, because we want to be able to do a lot of things and we want to be able to travel with ASEA. So we see now that because we've come through a time that could have been really tricky, it feels like we'll just keep moving, and the future, with that, looks really bright.
And so the future is about better health. I mean, the best health possible, health and well-being. And we've been doing our workbooks as well. And like the well-being part is we both want to travel more. We want to create a really fabulous team in ASEA. One of my huge goals this year is to actually, if it works out to be possible, if Vertus Norton's there, to actually meet him at convention. I don't know if he's going to be there or not, but my plan is that I really want to meet the founder of this company and to say thank you.
Yeah.
In person.
I hear you. There's been a lot of tears with Vertus in the past. I've experienced it myself. So thank you very much for sharing that. It's a very special mission. Brilliant. Beautiful, girls. You're getting lots of amazing comments on how the J&J team is just incredible.
We haven't even looked at the chat box, so we won't be distracted.
Maybe we should save it. I've saved it.
So ladies, what advice do you have for anyone looking at the ASEA opportunity, and for those that are just starting out with sharing ASEA with people? What would 3 points be that, these are the key things for you to start to do to build that the new habits and disciplines and the lifestyle?
Well, I think one of the things is to plug yourself into everything. Mm-hmm. If you're wanting to find out more about ASEA, talk, have conversations with people who are doing this, who are using the products, who are going to things and involved in things. So really the first thing is to just absorb yourself, get as much information as you can. You don't have to be sciencey, you just have to know where the stuff actually is. You have to know where, the Shine Bright team, which you guys have set up, you have to know where things actually are so that you know that the support is there. So I think the first one is to get plugged in.
And that's to all the resources and all the tools, and to plug into your upline. Like, I think that's really important, to plug into your upline, and it doesn't have to be right up the top. It can be anywhere on the tree. Just know who's there with you and people you feel like you've got a personality connection with. Just plug into them. Just make friends with them on Facebook, and then talk to them on Messenger and set up a Zoom call. We've done a few of those, and it's fabulous.
So do that, and the mentor doesn't even need to. We've got some people now we're talking to. They're not actually in specifically, like the people that we've signed up. We've met, like Margot. We've met her on the Zoom calls, and we chat with her. So it's about really chatting with anybody that you feel aligned with. So I think that's an important thing. And the other is that I guess is, if you're thinking about being involved with the ASEA, is to start obviously being a great user of the product, because that's the key. You have to be able to use the product and get the results for yourself, see what your stories are, and then start to see what's happening around you as well.
Mm-hmm. That's probably the second point. And I think the third point is to really get clear. Like, one of probably the turning points for both of us was doing the why that makes you cry, to actually really drill that down. We've done that about 5 times now, and just really drill it until you get some clarity around that. So like you know your why in a nutshell. And once you know your why in a nutshell, once you've drilled down to that, that is the thing that just keeps you going all the time. And then you can let other things go. You just go, oh, that was a red herring, that's okay, I'll just keep moving. Or you go, well, that wasn't on my radar, but now that it's showed up, that's for me. Or now that it's showed up, that isn't for me. And it's about, once you're clear, I think you establish really good boundaries. And you also then have this thing about using your time more wisely. And you start to value your time more. Because it's valuable.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that share it with.
They sure are. They sure are. So yeah, that's amazing. So number one, you said, so really plug into your team, plug into your upline, plug into your mentors and your peers, right? So you're
Yep.
part of that community. That's really important. You're not doing it by yourself. It's like you're in a team environment, team sport, and even like Margot, for example, cross-line to yourself, but your peers, you're working together, which is beautiful. Number two, you said use the product and learn how it works. See how it's working on yourself. See how it's working on the people around you. I know, Jeanette, you're a coach and you do the cellular health consults, so you're really seeing a lot of that. You're seeing the step-by-step changes people are experiencing from day to day, week to week, month to month. And then
then I'm also encouraging people, like when they get down and go, I haven't seen anything for a week or something, you go, you're only in the early part. Come on. You've only been using it 3 weeks. You're just really at the beginning. Keep going. So it's still that encouragement with people.
Yeah. Fantastic. And then number three was, be super clear on your why and keep clarifying that. Like it takes work. That's what I was trying to put across in my part, was that it's a process and it's not like done one and done. It's like you keep working on your why, what's important to you, clarify your values and remind yourself of the big picture and the vision of where you're going with this. So that was incredible.
And I was just going to say, if you have not got a buddy and you're on your own and you're going, I'm just on my own and I can't do all those things that you do, get yourself a buddy in the team and work, even though you've both got separate accounts, work together, because the moment you start working together, the energy changes and you lift up.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a thing that a mistake that many people make. They try and do this by themselves, and it's not a thing to do by yourself. It's a thing to do as a team. So you ladies are a great team. You're building a great team. You're a huge contribution to the overall team. We love what you do. You're extremely inspiring and very professional. I can see your display in the background. It looks perfect. Yeah, very pretty. Yeah. So yeah, we can't thank you enough for sharing. You're great. You're great educators and trainers too. So really appreciate your training that you regularly do on the Tuesday night on the Zoom. So everyone,